My landlord ignored my broken heater for 3 months, so I stopped paying rent legally. I was lying in bed when my heater made this loud clunking noise and went completely silent. It was already below freezing outside, and I could feel the cold starting to seep through the walls. I grabbed my phone and called my landlord, Crane, immediately. He picked up sounding irritated before I even finished explaining. "It's probably just the pilot light. YouTube it. I already checked. The whole unit is dead." He let out this long sigh like I was wasting his time. "I'll send someone next week. I have 6 buildings to manage, you know." No one came that week or the next. That's when it started. I called and texted Crane constantly over the next few weeks. I sent photos of my thermostat showing 47 degrees inside my own apartment. His only response was, "Space heaters are cheap at the hardware store. Not my problem." I bought one with my own money, but it barely made a difference. Then one morning I woke up to a sound that made me freeze. Water rushing somewhere it shouldn't be. I threw off my blankets and ran into the hallway, and my feet hit ice-cold water. My pipes had burst overnight, and there was water pooling across the entire floor, soaking into the carpet and creeping toward my furniture. I stood there in my socks watching everything I owned get ruined while I called Crane over and over. He never picked up. I paid a plumber $200 just to stop the flooding, and when I texted Crane the receipt, he replied, "That's on you. Should have kept the heat running." Something in me shifted after that. I grabbed a folder and started saving everything. Every request, every photo of my thermostat, every text he ignored. I drove to his office and walked in without an appointment. Crane was sitting behind his desk with his feet up, eating a sandwich and scrolling through his phone. He didn't even look up. "My apartment is unlivable. I need the heater." He steps closer and I can smell coffee on his breath fixed now. He took another bite of his sandwich, chewed slowly, and finally glanced at me. "Listen, if you can't handle a little cold, maybe you should find somewhere else to live. I've got tenants who actually pay on time and don't complain. I pay every single month." He shrugged and went back to his phone. "Then stop bothering me." I left his office shaking, but I wasn't done. That night I found out that landlords are legally required to provide heat. If they refuse, tenants can pay rent directly to a court instead of the landlord, and the landlord can't touch it until they fix the problem. I set it up immediately. Soon after, Crane slid a note under my door raising my rent by $300 for property improvements. He was trying to push me out for complaining. That was his mistake. I took my folder and filed a complaint with the housing board. I handed over everything to the housing board. An inspector came to my apartment, walked through every room, and confirmed the heater was completely dead. He told me it was one of the most well-documented cases he had ever seen. Then I waited. A few nights later, I was sitting on my couch when I heard footsteps pounding up the stairs. Someone started banging on my door so hard the frame was shaking. I looked through the peephole and saw Crane standing there with his face bright red, clutching a piece of paper in his fist. I opened the door and he shoved the paper in my face. "You went to the city? Do you have any idea what you've done to me?" I don't flinch. "I gave you 3 months to fix it, Crane." He steps closer and I can smell coffee on his breath. "I'm going to sue you for everything you have. I'll make sure you never rent anywhere in this city again. You can't sue me for following the law. My rent is sitting in a court account and you're not getting a dime until you fix that heater." His hands start shaking and the paper crumples in his grip. "You don't understand. I have 6 buildings. If they investigate all of them," his voice cracks. I watch his face change as it finally hits him. He's not just losing one case. He's losing everything. His knees actually buckle, and he grabs onto my doorframe to steady himself. When he looks at me again, his eyes are wet. "Please, I'll fix it tonight. I'll refund everything. Just call them and tell them it was a misunderstanding." I think about all those freezing nights, the burst pipes, the $200 I lost, and how he sat in his office and told me to stop bothering him. I feel absolutely nothing for him. "You did this to yourself." I closed the door in his face. He had to sell all 6 buildings just to cover the fines. The new owners fixed my heater within a week. I still have that folder.